Okay, so a lot of the things we're going to go over today are considered extreme in the health, the non-health world, I guess we can call it. But as far as a healthy person goes, these are not extreme. These are easy to do. Some of these habits do take time to build and learn, and switch over to get used to a new diet or new something. But these are things that I've done over the last few years to improve my health, lose weight, and get in way better shape than I used to be years ago. Now, these things do, some might sound a little extreme, but I'll give you my reasons why and why they're not extreme in my mind and why they should be easy for you to implement once you understand why. And I hope they can help you as well. That's my biggest goal there. But let's start with an analogy though of investing. A lot of the habits I built over time really took time to kind of take place. It took years to build a bad body, and it took years to fix that body and become more healthy, right? Well, like investing, you can't turn $1,000 into $5,000 overnight. It's either a day trader or insider trading, right? So that's not realistic in the trading world. It is possible, but not in the health world. You're not going to lose 50 pounds overnight, at least in a healthy manner. If we're talking about like a weight loss surgery, that's different. But let's go over kind of what I've done over the last several years, um, and then some of the other changes I made to get there. And you can see where this could help you if you start making little changes over time that will build and that will compound interest, just like investing, turning that $1,000 into $5,000 over time, and even more as you keep going. Right? It's just like investing in my mind. So let's start with breakfast. First, I make my own oatmeal. So a lot of the oatmeals out there are trash, a lot of sugar in there, and bad ingredients. So I just get a big old bag from Costco. I think it's like 12 bucks and I get like a few pounds of oats, and they're organic, they're clean, um, fiber and protein in there as well. And I mix in protein powder. You can mix in whatever protein powder you want. I always do the Jocko Fuel one because it's clean, but also tastes really good as well. The protein is the peanut butter chocolate one. Um, I'll put the link in the description of the video in the comments as well. But those two together are make a great oatmeal. So at first, I was still it wasn't sweet enough for me, so I was adding honey and stuff like that. Um, Eventually, I stopped. And I'm like, oh, this is still pretty good without it all. So maybe it took a little time to get used to a new palate of not so sweet oatmeal and made it a little smoother. So make sure you are um, ready for that kind of thing. If you add anything to sweeten it, I would look at clean options like maple syrup and honey and stuff like that. And then recently, I started adding a small dash of cocoa powder. There's a lot of good health benefits there, um, and also cinnamon as well for gut digestion. So those right there, without any sweetener, is what I eat most mornings, and it is delicious. I do have a couple more I'll go over later, but that is what my biggest staple is, especially when I'm on the go. Just quick, easy, and stuff like that. Next, a lot of lunch leftovers. Why is that extreme? Well, a lot of people will eat out lunch most days because it's easy to cook and stuff like that. Well, that's extreme to me because that's the extreme cost right there, and you're also eating extreme calories. So, which both those combined, to me, that's extreme if you ask me. So, I remember at one workplace where I was about 30 years old. I was still a little overweight, but I was eating a lot of leftovers still, and all the younger folks than me that were just out of college said, "Oh, well, just go out to eat, blah blah blah." I'm like, well, no, because well, first of all, I had a family to feed, so I couldn't put extra funds towards um, a lunch and a tip and stuff like that, and sometimes even a beer. I'd rather not because I'm glad I didn't do that those days. I would have been more overweight than I was at the time. Now that I'm over 40, well, now it is a little more frugal for the budget as well, but also it's still delicious and nutritious. So if that's extreme to you, I can't help you there. But all right, so um, next one. This one might sound extreme from the get-go, but I promise you it's going to help you in the long run. I'm never eating McDonald's again. I will not. So if I'm on the road and there's two options at a podunk town, at a McDonald's and a gas station, I'm going to the gas station. I'm buying a protein bar. The protein bar is not perfect. I understand that, but it is way better than McDonald's. So um, it's not even a treat yourself sort of thing. I don't find it even appetizing or um, anything like that delicious anymore. I won't eat their fries. It's full of other crap. But also not just the saturated fats, the extra sodium, um, all those things. You're also getting a lot of really bad preservatives in there as well. So I am skipping McDonald's forever. I won't touch it again. Breakfast, they might get me here and there, maybe, but probably not. But either way, I'm never eating McDonald's again. I um, I can see that I can sound extreme, but it's also, if you think about it, it's one of the habits you have to almost make so you don't start to, well, I need a cheat day and stuff like that. The longer I've been away from eating stuff like McDonald's, the longer I've gone without needing a cheat day. I'll go over what I eat most days, and they are simply it's nutritious and a lot of flavor. So I don't really feel like I need a cheat day. I'm full. I'm not like I'm like, oh my God, I'm starving. That's the sort of diet you might need a cheat day for, and that's also not a good diet, by the way. But you are, um, if you're eating well and you're full and stuff like that. Honestly, I never crave a cheat day. Do I crave a sweet sometimes more than usual? Yeah. Do I still cave in here on those things? Yeah, sometimes. But we'll go over that next too. Um, Next is this. I've been called extreme for this as well. When I was working at this one building, I had to walk down the stairs to use the restroom and walk back up. Um, so I got a few more steps in. It was a really big staircase. So you got a lot of steps on the stairs, which is nice. But it's just a few more steps a day that you'd add up, right? So to some people that was extreme. For me, that was um, just keeping my health alive, really. And that sitting down longer seems more extreme to me. Um, there was one guy who he barely got up from his desk, and he probably made the most money on the sales floor there. But he also looked terrible. He was in terrible shape. He looked like he was about 10 years younger than me, but he looked way older than me and probably, might have an early grave, unfortunately. Tried to help him, but he wouldn't listen. So that to me is extreme. I'd rather live than have a bunch of money and die tomorrow. So that's just me. Next, kind of going on the same theme is I park further for more steps. At the grocery store, at a workplace, at whatever. I will park further just to get a few more steps in. Again, it all adds up. So imagine if you park, you know, um, at uh, the front of the parking lot. I'm gonna get a calculator right now, and I park in the back of the parking lot. Let's say it's an extra 200 steps. Well, we're gonna times that by work 5 work days times 52 weeks. That's 52,000 steps a year right there just from parking alone. So you can see how, and then that's not even walking back out to your car. So there's 100,000 steps more I have on you from not parking a little bit further. Then again, that's only for walking to and from your car to leave to and from work. Imagine if you do that all the time for other things too. That's going to be millions of steps for the year. Those add up for your zone two health. Just more walking to help clear your head a little more. That's the other mention for that at the workplace is if I step away for one more minute, a little longer, it allows me to clear my head a little more and come back in more reset and work a little bit more efficiently and better as opposed to just working hard and grinding out and burning yourself out. Next, I rarely have dessert. Okay, lately I've had a few more lately because I've had some these protein ice creams that my wife found. They aren't super clean, but they are super good. And it's not super terrible, but it's not super clean. But it's that's my cheat, if you will. It's my sweet tooth, of course. But other than that, like when the kids are gouging out on some cookies or something like that, nope, I am done. And it's not worth it for me. And frankly, I've eaten enough protein for the day to be full, and I'm not craving anything. I'm not like needing something to have. If it was a longer day outside, I missed lunch or whatever, I'm likely to cave because I might be a little bit. hungry for more calories, but I try to grab something more like the protein ice cream or a protein bar. Again, those aren't super clean, but it's better than having a piece of cake or a Snickers bar or a real ice cream that's full of crap, really. There are good ice creams out there, by the way, but just keep that in mind. Read those labels. We don't eat out a lot. Part of it is the cost. And everything's going up these days, of course, and feeding four kids and the wife and I at a restaurant, even at a diner, ends up costing over 70 bucks before tips. So it's like it's not even worth the cost sometimes. But also, I'd rather have more control of what I'm picking over. Um, but it goes back to the cost as well. So it's a little bit of a cost thing, but also a calories thing as well. So um, pizza. I've had pizza twice in the last year. One because it was a work event. The one before that was because it was I think like one of my kids' birthdays or something maybe. And so maybe it's been once in the last full year, twice in the last year and a half maybe. It Do I love some pizza? Yeah, that's something that I could get behind sometimes. But it's frankly it's full of a lot of extra calories, and I'm gonna be hungry again in like less than an hour. So um, I'll probably eat too much pizza, and then I'm back to the same problem I used to be in of overeating. Because if you eat bad foods, McDonald's, pizza, you're gonna overeat, and it's already high calorie per bite as it is. Now you're adding more calories because you're not full enough with the good fiber and protein to stop and fill yourself up. So again, those might be extreme to you because every American does these things, and frankly, it's not working, right? So to me, it's not extreme because that's where I could be in a healthy weight. I feel amazing. By the way, I slept not nearly enough last night, but I do have some good energy still going because I've been eating well and taking care of everything. So when I do have a bad night of sleep, I still have good energy. I'm not like super groggy. This would have happened 5 years ago before I started losing some real weight. I'd be dragging my butt all over the place and slow and probably extremely grouchy, right? So if you look at it in that light, even though I had bad sleep, but because I've been eating well and because I've been taking care of my body pretty well, I'm not. Now, granted, I need to catch up yet before it gets in a bad state, but I do feel way better than I would have a few years ago. So what do I eat? So I still eat eggs every day, or not, sorry, every day. I eat eggs quite a bit when I don't have my oatmeal. I do eat with the sourdough bread usually. I usually fry them, put a couple on I made a little sandwich, and then a couple on the side. Sometimes I put some seasoning on there, sometimes I don't. But that is something that I used to do scrambled with cheese, but just to lower the fat content, I stopped just to trim down a little more for the summer. And the, as long as the cheese is clean and stuff like that, there's no problem with cheese, by the way. I'm just trying to lower my calories a little bit. Um, but then I would say that's something I do probably maybe 2, 3 times a week. The rest of the time is oatmeal. Then on the weekend, sometimes I'll add some protein pancakes in there sometimes. That also is not the cleanest option as well. I made some from scratch before. It just takes a little longer, but um, that's also something I'll have in the morning too. But other than that, I'm eating regular things like everyone else. Just I eat a good amount of beef, a good amount of turkey, and burgers at home. We will take the frozen burgers from Costco, throw them in the grill. They are grass fed, and throw a piece of cheese on there and stuff like that. Sometimes I have a bun. Sometimes I go Flying Dutch, which is just the meat and the cheese without the bun. Maybe it's a little weird, but whatever. I don't trust a lot of the buns though, so that's part of why I'm not afraid of the carbs. It's some of the buns I just don't trust. Um, Maybe that's too extreme for you. I don't know. After that, though, I eat plenty of veggies and fruits, especially blueberries and bananas. Um, and then we still have a taco night, right? So the tortillas are probably not that great, but I'll have we still have taco night like at least once a week, and a spaghetti night too. So that a lot of pasta with that, and then even a breadstick. We're still eating that, and we're it, is it perfect? No, absolutely not. But is it way better than what a lot of people are doing most days? Yeah, I'd rather have spaghetti night here than pay Olive Garden for a overpriced plate of spaghetti that tastes no better, maybe even worse sometimes. The last time I was there, I felt like I was sick when I left. It was all the grease. Um, but other than that, that is my extreme things I do. I'd be curious to hear what you think is extreme. If you think what my list is extreme, especially not never having McDonald's again. The list doesn't stop at McDonald's, by the way. The list does include Taco Bell, Burger King, Wendy's, all those things. I won't eat there again. Done. It's I felt sick every time afterwards. It's not worth it. But then if you look at it like, well, a lot of people say, well, the average American does this, the average American does that, the average American eats this, but you don't, so that's extreme. Okay. Well, the average American's overweight, and then a lot of Americans are in the severe obese categories too. So I don't really care what the averages say because the average American is not in a good spot. So that said, I'll end that here. If you are looking for the free longevity scorecard, shoot me an email. I'll put my email address in the comments. So you can shoot me an email if you want to get a hold of the free scorecard. It just gives you a good baseline of where you are as far as your current health status goes. Be honest when you answer it though, because that's going to give you the true answer of where you really lie. And my best advice is take your lowest score and work in that category first. Okay. Um, Next, also, of course, is the affiliate, Jocko Fuel, mentioned them earlier. Take a look at them and make sure you are supporting them to help support my channel as well. You have a good one.